Hello, my name's Hannah. I'm Commissioning Editor of Future Medicinal Chemistry, and joining me is Dr. John Spencer, an editorial board member of the journal. Hello, John.
Hello.
Please, can you tell me a bit about yourself and how you entered into the field?
I'm a reader at Sussex. I started off as a general chemist and did a PhD in France and a postdoc in a totally different area to medicinal chemistry. Then I guess economics pushed me towards the pharmaceutical industry. It's a very difficult area to get into at the start because the molecules look very daunting when you look at drug-like molecules. But suddenly you get the bug basically, and you get the kind of enthusiasm. You understand, you get over those kind of first initial barriers, and it just becomes so exciting. I think the fact that you're trying to make a difference and knowing that you make one step forward and you do 3 steps backwards every time you solve a problem of potency. You've got a problem with toxicity or a problem with solubility. So it's always a compromise. Unless you get very lucky, getting a drug is a compromise. I mean, I know very few people who have actually got drugs on the market. I mean, that's 15 years and £1 billion worth of input, really. So getting molecules and tools that are important to tell you about biological processes that are relevant, that they do what they say they do, they're not artifacts, they're actually proper tools in a particular biological pathway. I think it's very useful because then industry can take them and make drugs from them. Yeah, so it's just a really exciting field. I think it's so good to do your hobby, be paid to do your hobby, really, so I really enjoy it. Yeah.
Excellent. And you're here today to speak about the special focus issue that you're guest editing. Can you tell us a little bit about that and what it's going to be covering?
Select Biosciences. I've been involved with Select Biosciences for a long time. I was on a kind of a scientific advisory board a long time ago, and it sort of, I guess, fizzled away when I left industry and went into academia. I've been delighted to be involved again because they're putting together a kind of a conference. It's one of the first of its type that's engaging academia with drug discovery industry. And I think that, there's always a big problem in a way with academia. It costs a lot of money to get the drug to market, and it's always a kind of a chicken and egg. Have you got this kind of in vivo activity? No, we haven't, because we don't have the funding to take it to that particular point. Well, we won't give you the funding until you get to that point, but we don't have the funding to get to that point. So it's always a kind of a vicious circle with academia. So I think having industry there, hopefully what will happen is industry will see the value of a lot of academic research and vice versa, and it might help build bridges and lead to some translational kind of opportunities for academics and for industrialists as well. Because industrialists need academic chemists as well. Sometimes there are very difficult synthetic problems that a synthetic organic chemist can help them solve that they cannot actually do in-house. And I get some funding from, I won't mention the pharmaceutical industry, the company, but and they actually sent out a wish list of chemistry that they wanted you to do, and they're actually moving towards academics now to say, we can't do this in-house, we don't have the resources, can you actually do this, and we'll give you a PhD out of it. And I think that's a way that hopefully academic and drug discovery units will get together in helping solve each other's problems, working to both of their strengths.
Great. As you mentioned, it's the first event of its kind. Why do you think that is? Why has it taken so long for there to be a conference to bring together industry and academics?
Well, I'm sure there have always been academics going to conferences, but I guess academics have never, it's very, like I said, they don't have the infrastructure really. There are a few groups. There is a very successful translational drug discovery group at Sussex that's been set up where they do have the chemistry and the biology, and they do have the X-ray crystallography, and they do have the novel targets, which is quite unique. It's quite difficult in an academic environment to have all of this together, almost like a mini spin-off or a mini pharmaceutical company in its own right. So that's probably the case. You get academics probably talking about projects that go to a certain level, but never with the depth that you can achieve in an industrial kind of setting, because you just don't have the infrastructure. So maybe the fact that there are now emerging groups in academia at bigger universities where they've got infrastructure funding to do this. And let's not forget as well, there's been a niche created, I guess, because big pharma, a lot of big pharma has moved out of the UK. A lot of big pharma have actually stopped producing or doing research in the UK, but they still need research doing, so maybe the funding has shifted towards academic groups as well. Or maybe the fact that they've given away some of their projects that were not of a deemed to be commercially viable at the time, but maybe handed them over to academic groups to take them forward, and then they might have a first option to actually develop them if something comes up. They're sort of like, it's a win-win situation for a big pharma company. They give it to an academic group, they get big charity funding for it. If nothing works, well, it's not really cost them that much. If something does, they get first refusal on it, they can take it forward. So I think it's a kind of situation where there was a gap with big pharma moving out that maybe academia have seized.
Yeah.
And it'd be a good thing. Yeah.
Yeah. I guess that's why it's important that the journal's covering it and we can offer some perspectives from the conference.
Definitely. Yes.
What kind of topics will the conference be covering?
Well, there'll be a lot of translational studies. So kind of studies that, again, there's a kind of a bridge between academia where you may be doing blue skies chemistry or biology, whereas really there's a more applied aspect. So there'll be, I guess there'll be people saying, right, we've made this molecule, we've screened this molecule, this is the biology, this is the drug target, and it's already entering maybe clinical trial or preclinical trial. So it'd be like I said, more like an industrial setting for doing the academic research. Yeah.
Can you tell us a bit about who will be speaking at the conference?
Well, I don't know if the lineup has been finalised yet. I guess it might have been. I mean, I can think of a few people. I do apologise if I'm missing people out there. It's quite an international gathering. So I gather there are people from Harvard talking about drug discovery. There's going to be talks on sort of like infectious disease. A couple of colleagues of mine, there's Mark Maloney from Oxford, a good friend of mine, go back quite a while, talking about his natural product inspired libraries. And that's quite nice because we're tending to find that natural products have always been a good source of drugs, and they've got kind of the right shapes, I guess, and the right properties in terms of the aromatics and the hydrogen bond donors and acceptors, and they've got a unique kind of chemistry where they can make small parts of natural products, and if that part actually fits into a protein and we get some activity, then we can build up a kind of a drug, and that will be reinforced by the fact that there's a world leader in Tom Blundell. So Tom Blundell, who, whose groundbreaking work has been involved in protein crystallography, and the companies such as Aztecs that have benefited from this kind of fragment-based rule of three drug discovery. And I can see the kind of marriage between the concepts and some of the chemical libraries that are going to be presented. It's going to be a really, really good program. It's really exciting.
Great.
Yeah.
Is there anyone in particular that you're looking forward to seeing?
I'm going to go and see everything. I sometimes, I don't want to go with any sort of biased opinions. I think it all looks very exciting. I think there are no parallel sessions, which is great. So, you sometimes go to these massive conferences and it's like buses. Every single talk comes at the same time. You can't be in 3 lecture theatres at the same time. And here, I think we can go and see all of them. And I think it'll be really, really exciting.
Great. What do you hope to get out of the conference personally?
Well, I think it's going to be good to talk about our work. We've got funding, and it'd be nice to actually showcase that and say, funding has actually been good value for money, and we're taking the field forward in some of our cancer research we're doing. It'd be great for my students. My PhD and postdoc are going to go, so they'll get an experience of seeing, leading cutting-edge science. I think it'd be great for the journal. Future Med Chem, it's got an impact factor 4 now. That's been incredible. It's one of the best medchem journals now.
Yes, it is.
Yes, it's an incredible journal, and I think that the coverage will hopefully will increase its impact and increase its kind of visibility, because maybe not everyone reads Future Medchem, so it'd be a good chance to actually partner that and drive that forward, and covering the conference as well, given the fact that these people that are giving the talks, they'll publish their work. Hopefully we'll get 6 or 7 articles in Future Medchem and cover the conference and give it the kind of coverage that it needs, and hopefully we'll make this a more regular kind of partnership, get Future Medchem and Select Biosciences together again and have more and more of these conferences.
Yeah, certainly.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you very much for speaking with me, John.
No worries. It's a real pleasure. Thank you.
Thank you. To recap, the conference will be running from the 19th to the 20th of May at Murray Edwards College, Cambridge University, UK. As we mentioned, many of the speakers who are appearing at the conference will be contributing articles to the special focus. The articles will relate to their presentations at the conference, so please watch out for that. The issue will be appearing around autumn time. So thank you very much again, John.
It's a pleasure. Thank you.
Look forward to seeing you at the conference. Thank you.
Right, thank you. Bye.